Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about my views of Trump and why I am not a big fan of him. So to begin with, I'll just talk about my main disagreements with Trump, and then I'll go into what I think he represents in the current political scene. So to begin with, I have a huge disagreement with him on tariffs. His position on trade is equivalent to Elizabeth Warren's, and Elizabeth Warren is someone who I disagree with on just about everything. Trump is very pro tariffs, and you can watch my other video about trade just to see my views on why I think tariffs are a terrible idea. And he's ultimately an economic nationalist in this sense, since he focuses so much on keeping American jobs here and just trying to protect the American economy, which is a very, very collectivist way to view economics, and ultimately is very damaging to the economy as it's damaging for total wealth, and it creates higher prices, and yeah, it's ultimately just very damaging and hinders economic growth. So then, second would be his views on immigration. I am very, very pro-immigrant. I view immigrants as a very positive to the economy, obviously, for one. Two, they don't commit as much crimes as even native, not referring to the Native Americans, but the people who are native to America, like the people who were born here. So yeah, immigrants don't commit as many crimes as them. And just in general, the idea that the government should step in and stop someone from traveling across the border when they're trying to create a new life for themselves, and a company's hiring them, and yeah, I don't think the government has any right to step in on that process, of course, unless there's obviously diseases, or they're a criminal or that sort of stuff. So I think we should have vetting to an extent, but yeah, I'll talk about immigration in another video. I'm not a big fan of Trump on immigration, though. And tariffs and immigration, those are two things that Trump has been able to get done very effectively, I've noticed these past couple years. When compared to some of his better policies, like deregulation, sure, he's deregulated in a lot of sectors, but it's all been through executive action. It's all been through who he assigns to the roles of bureaucracy, which is not very permanent, and ultimately will be changed the second a Democrat gets into office. So I prefer permanent change to these little tiny changes that aren't going to actually have an effect. So then another thing, Trump, he wants to lower taxes, which I agree with, but he also wants to raise spending. He wants to his spending bills are bigger than other bills, and it's because he just increases a lot of military spending. And ultimately, this is a very, very bad way of running public policy. You can't increase spending if you decrease taxes. That's what Reagan thought we could do, but it just doesn't work. You need to decrease both spending and taxes. And then ultimately you'll be closer to a balanced budget, and by decreasing spending, you're getting the government less involved in our lives. But Trump doesn't care about rights. He's more of a pragmatist. He just wants to do what he thinks is in the best interest of society right now, and the best interest of the American people as a nationalist. So then, what's something else? Oh yeah, Supreme Court. He's also nominating very pro life justices, which I don't know if they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade, but the potential for them overturning Roe v. Wade is a very, very scary thing. There's a lot that I agree with some conservative justices, but that is not one of those things. And honestly, there was a time where I was very scared they were overturning Roe v. Wade, which is not a very good idea. So then, yeah, so I think that's it for just the specific disagreements I have with him. So then, what I view Trump as symbolically for the Republican Party is this move away from free markets towards towards the more nationalist and religious side of the Republican Party. So ultimately, what I see, there's a lot less free market conservatives out there, and a lot more people who are more moving towards the nationalist side of the party, which is a very scary thing because I hate Republican nationalists, and I'm sympathetic to free market Republicans. But there's less and less of those these days. And you even look at Tucker Carlson praising Elizabeth Warren's in one of his segments. I don't remember what specifically he was praising. It was one of her plans, but the fact that you have Tucker Carlson, a Republican conservative just pundit who's like a really big deal, talking about Elizabeth Warren and explaining why she has good ideas, is just something that's very scary to me, because it just shows how Republicans are tending to abandon their free market principles. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of what Trump is doing with the Republican Party, moving them towards a more nationalist end. Alright, I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.